What's up, everybody? Zillow just came out with a report that says in order to afford to buy a house these days, you are now going to need to put down 35% or $128,000. It's hard enough to come up with 20%. If you need to now come up with 35%, how is anyone supposed to afford to buy a home? This is at the time when home prices are still hitting new highs in a lot of markets in our country. Mind you, we are also seeing the highest level of sellers dropping their list prices since November of 2022, according to Redfin's latest housing market update. Between high home prices, high interest rates, and now, if Zillow is correct, needing to put 35% down payment, is there anyone besides the top 1% that can afford to buy a house today? Now, like I always say, real estate is very localized, and this obviously depends on where you live. And in this analysis, Zillow does break it down by area. So let's unpack it all by looking at this article by Skylar Olson for Zillow titled "Buyer Needs a $127,000 Down Payment to Afford a Typical Mortgage Payment," as well as Redfin's latest housing market update. So let's dive right in. Down payments have always been important, but in the current market where interest rates remain high and volatile and home values are stable or rising, boosting the amount you put down can make the difference between a home that's affordable and one that's not, wrote Zillow's chief economist Skylar Olson in her analysis. A Zillow analysis of major metropolitan areas shows that a home buyer making a median income needs to put down nearly $127,750 or 35.4% to comfortably afford a typical U.S. home. Comfortably in this case means you're spending no more than 30% of the typical income in your specific area on housing. So your mortgage payment, property taxes, and insurance, leaving enough of a budget buffer for emergency situations and other important things. Anyone who spends more than 30% on housing is considered cost burden. And if they spend more than half of their income on housing, they're considered severely cost burdened. Olson starts by saying that there are only 10 out of 50 major metropolitan areas where a household earning the median income can afford to put less than 20% down and still have an affordable payment on a home. Most are in the Midwest, where home values have largely grown at a strong clip in recent years, Olson wrote. Austin, Jacksonville, Charlotte, and Raleigh are some of the places that Olson mentions where you can put 20% down, making a median income, assuming a qualifying credit score and no other debt. The relative affordability of these markets is a big reason why many of them were boom markets during the pandemic and likely will be into the future, she wrote. Then she moves on to the more expensive markets in California and other East and West Coast cities. In more expensive markets, where home values have long outpaced income, middle-income households need an even bigger down payment share on top of the bigger price tag, Olson wrote. She writes that in Los Angeles, a median income household would need a nearly impossible 81.1% or $780,203 to afford the typical home and its monthly payments, the highest in the country. In San Jose, they would need to put down 80.9% or more than $1.3 million, which is more than the typical home is even worth in every other major market. Outside of California, median income families would need to put down more than 60% in the following markets: New York City metro area, 75.3%, Miami, 64.5%, Boston, 61.7%, and Seattle, 61.3%. When calculating how long it would even take to save that up, she replied that a median income household in Seattle making around $116,000 would need about $462,000 to lower the debt comfortably enough to afford the monthly payments on a typical home worth about $753,000. It would take almost 24 years to build up that kind of savings if the household saved 10% of their income every month into a cash account, earning a guaranteed 4% return. I know I'm getting really animated, but these are crazy, crazy numbers. She's not wrong when she says it's a near impossibility without a gift from a family, an inheritance, a Scott windfall, or possibly down payment assistance. In a more affordable market like Atlanta, a median income household would need more than $118,000 saved for 30.5% down payments on a typical home home in that market, currently valued at almost $387,500. That would take more than 10 years, she wrote. It's hard enough to come up with 20% down payments. The National Association of Realtors found the typical down payment in the year ending June of 2023 was just 8% for first-time buyers and 19% for repeat buyers. And Zillow reported from last year, 43% of buyers use a gift from family or friends for part of their down payments. And more than half of millennial and Gen Z buyers view the opportunity to rent out a portion of their home for rental income as very or extremely important. A separate Redfin Commission survey found that more than 1/3 of millennials and Gen Zers who are planning on buying a home expect their parents or family to help them with the down payments. And it doesn't help that, according to Redfin, the median sale price is up 4.8% year over year, reaching an all-time high and the biggest increase since March. The median sale price is up the most in Newark, New Jersey, up 16.4%. Anaheim, California, up 16%. Nassau County, New York, up 14.7%. New Brunswick, New Jersey, up 14.1%. And Milwaukee, up 10.7%. The median sale price is down the most year over year in Austin, Texas, down 3.7%. San Antonio, Texas, down 1.5%. Fort Worth, Texas, down 1.4%. And Portland, Oregon, down 1.1%. I gotta say that beginning in August, I started paying for 2 college tuition. I mean, it's just something that's been really important to me forever, that if I can help it, that my kids don't start their post-college life with incredible debts. I would be lying if I said I had all 4 years of tuition and other costs for each kid just sitting there in the bank. I mean, I have been contributing to their 529 since they were born, but still, I'm missing about 1.5 years tuition for both kids. College is just incredibly expensive these days, as is the housing market. If I also have to help them with a down payment if they want to buy a home, the way things are going, it looks like my kids are going to end up being renters, or they'll end up moving back home and living with me. I love my kids, but I'm not sure that's the greatest idea. I don't know. What do you guys think? In Redfin's latest housing market update, Dana Anderson writes that housing costs could come down in the coming months, as mortgage rates are coming down a bit, and there are signs price growth could slow down. Pending home sales fell 3.8%, the biggest year-over-year decline in nearly 4 months, during the 4 weeks ending June 16th, which could indicate that buyers are simply waiting for home prices and/or interest rates to come down. New listings are up 7.7% year over year, but they are sitting well below typical levels for this time of year. The only time on record June listings have been lower was in 2023. New listings with the biggest year-over-year increases are San Jose, California, up 44.1%, Phoenix, up 23.6%, San Diego, up 21.4%, Miami, up 20.5%, and Seattle, up 17.1%. The median days on the market is 31 days, up 3 days from a year ago. And the share of homes that sold in the first 2 weeks was 42.1%, down from 47% a year ago. The share of homes that sold above the list price was 32%, down from 36% from a year ago. And like we said at the beginning of this video, the number of homes with a price drop is 6.6%, up 2.1 points, the highest level since November of 2022. So is there a chance that the housing market is changing? Yes, definitely. Will it become affordable to the average person without any help? I don't know. It doesn't look that way. I can tell you what I'm seeing here in the DC area is a lot of price reductions. But in my opinion, a lot of times it's because these greedy sellers are pricing their homes too high. Buyers are not falling for it. So they're sitting on the market having to reduce their price week after week. But if a home is priced right and it does show well, these homes are still getting multiple offers and selling way above asking. It's a mixed market where I am in the DC area. But what are you guys seeing where you live? Are you seeing a lot of price reductions? Are you seeing a lot of activity, more houses for sale? Definitely comment below, tell us where you live, tell us what you're seeing. Because honestly, I can read all the articles in the world and I can tell you what's happening where I am, but I think the best indication of what's really happening in our housing market is what you guys tell us what you're seeing where you live, so we can really see what's happening. Last week, I was away on our family beach vacation before these kids head off to college, and I found this really interesting article on what would happen if Trump gets reelected. So I did a video about it. These weren't my opinions, it wasn't a political video, but I thought it was really interesting. If you missed it, check it out next. And if you saw it, what did you think? Because in my opinion, I don't know if either president is going to make a difference in our housing market. It's simply become so unaffordable, especially for first-time buyers. Anyway, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!